I'm starting the broadcast. It's on. We're live. We're absolutely live. And let's see who is going to come on. And this is us recording as we speak. And but really, I don't. By the way, I forgot to tell you, Kimberly, I don't start till I say, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is now just talking to the class who's here real quick. Live now. Okay, class. Okay, 7 of you are out there. Good to see you. I counted about 13. Let me see who said they'll be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. About 12 of you. Oh, someone says, hey, Kimberly. I don't think you see it.
Hey, Miss Laura.
There you go. Amanda says, hey, and then Amanda says she's here. Laura's the one that said, hey, Kimberly. And hello, everybody. Good to see you here, Sarah. 9 viewers. We're getting very close. Oh, I guess you're replying in the chat group. So we have you in the chat and you in the live section.
Do you want me to go off the chat group?
No, you can. You can just talk in there.
Okay.
And by the way, your responses, Kimberly, doesn't have to be written. It's just voice. So you already got that discussion grade too as well. Obviously,
okay.
Discussing. But I think everybody else here. Now, who is not here? Christina, whenever you get a chance, if you don't mind, put a picture, a face picture. Studies show that when chat groups have pictures, it actually promotes better teamwork. And that's part of our course actually here is a teamwork. And forming a group is going to be one of your chapters. Let's see who else, who are we waiting for here in about 11 viewers. So I think we could start soon. We're going to begin filming for the course in a little bit class. I will begin with introducing Kimberly. Kimberly is going to go ahead and tell us a little bit about herself and what her job is or what you do or where and then I'm going to ask, what she plans to take out of the course. And then we're going to go through the objective. But before that, I'm going to probably talk about the QR code. If people want to join, right, they could get on the QR code and they can join this wonderful chat group. There is going to finally be a quiz, guys. I'm going to say it also on the recording. There's going to be a quiz. You may want to take it. It's going to be every module is due Monday 11:59. I like to be predictable. I don't like to throw curveballs. 11:59, every module is due Monday. Honestly, I tried to set this up for you guys easy. As in, if you could just devote Monday night and Tuesday to this class, you're set. You're set. You don't really have to go crazy. Or maybe one course. I'm not the professor that likes to take. Isn't that right, Kimberly? Some professors want to take 20 hours of your time.
I have one of those. I appreciate that you're not.
You want to, right? It's a 3-hour course. A week, and it's a 3-hour course. And sometimes they're like, well, it's 3 times 3. That's 9 hours
right.
of homework. Well, no, I really rather you critically think because that's really what we got to do in this course. Monday 11:59. What nights are quizzes posted? All modules are usually posted on Wednesday. God forbid something happens, I'll let you know. But on Wednesday, so tomorrow it'll be posted. Everything that's due. Okay. Now, the quizzes sometimes take a little bit of time, but then I will let you know in the module the quiz is about to be here, okay? Then let me think about it. What else should I say? Grading. Grading takes a little bit, I have professors that don't give me, because I'm a student just like you guys, a PhD student. I don't see grades in a long time, but I try to get them graded, okay? So if you have questions, some of you guys feel like, you know if you're failing, please. Honestly, those who are coming to this video presentations, it's actually hard for you to fail if you come to these, honestly. If you come to these, you do super well. I like the interaction. Just do me a favor, guys, those who are out there, don't stay quiet because this is a little bit of comparison, Okay, so if I see Jenny and Sarah talk up a storm, and I see you quiet, then your grade's a D. It's that simple, right? But I like people that interact. So if you keep interacting, then you're okay. You're here. Don't just, another thing, guys, this is decisions class. You're just learning to formulate a argument, okay? You will learn how to make one. Later on, it's a little less of the content and it's more about how dead on you are. Like, you see what I mean, Kimberly? Like if you were to say something that was sound, wow, you could say 3 words and you get a better grade than 20 words, right? But not yet. We're learning how to be sound. Oh, no. Yes. No one should get a D at all. So, Kiona, hi, Kiona. Anyone else here new? Let me know. Any questions, guys, before we begin the recording to the course? I'm happy to have you guys. Good turnout. I actually was going to tell you that if I don't have at least 10 students, I don't do the interactive course. I mean, I would have done it with you, of course, Kimberly, but you've been the only one here because, you know, it's something called a quorum. A quorum means the amount of people needed to begin a class. You know, professors don't talk to themselves. You know, and another thing, you should be super thankful Kimberly volunteered, because when the guest lecturer, I'm going to start making a rule because I can't really pick you out. But if I don't have a guest lecturer, we don't have a class. And then everybody has to write. So it's like, okay, well, those who don't want to write may want to get someone to volunteer, right? And Kimberly was today. So any questions, guys, before we begin the class? We have to make sure that we keep these classes going. Yes, Laura, if you'd like to, that's right. That's right. I'm surprised you guys were wondering how this works as far as volunteer. It's not that I point you out and it's mandatory, because nothing is mandatory in this course. It's that I just wouldn't have the live class, you know, and then you have to, like, you know, come up with other stuff that you may not like, right? So we need live. Okay, good. Some of you, the people that are here right here in front of me, are going to be the ones that like this interaction. Those writing over there, they like to do that way. So it's half and half, believe it or not, right now. You have any questions?
How many are actually in the class?
In the class is about, I believe, 25. So it's about 10 people who want to come in and write. And people like to write. Let me tell you, it sounds strange to you guys who like to be interactive, but some people like to write. They really do. I necessarily like to write myself. I probably would have done both. I've not wrote in 28 years. I don't want to write. Well, Kristen, you should probably consider writing still, because it's very important for your career. And there she's getting likes. Look at that. Okay. Well, we'll begin, Kimberly. And any last questions? I know we're a little delayed. Any questions from you, Kimberly? You're like super live. No questions?
Any what?
Any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Look at that.
No, I'm good.
To go live.
I'm a little nervous, so.
Hey, don't be. You look like a natural. Absolutely. Okay, so, okay. I agree with Jenny. I'm trying to learn. Okay, so ready? We're going to begin, and I'm going to do this here to remind myself that this is the cutoff of the video. There you go, video. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Good evening, class. I'm here with your guest lecturer, one of your fellow students, Kimberly. Say hi.
Hi.
And this is how we do our interactive class. Let me tell you, the interactive class is a live video that goes to record for everybody in the course, okay? You don't have to be part of this video. You could just come in anytime, any moment, and interact that way. In other words, you know, you just put in your discussion on the D2L, and everybody could do that. That's no problem. No one here is mandatorily here. They're all just wanting to be here live. And we're always making sure every piece of information, guys, I do have to make it clear for the course. Every piece of information is on D2L. There's nothing extra anywhere else. D2L is where you want to go and you want to stay. Pay attention to it. Everybody in the course talking right now, Kimberly, yourself, keep an eye on D2L. It's the main and official source for everything. And I really can't have anything outside of it except D2L. That's why I have this video there, right? Kimberly, tell us a little bit about you.
I'm I am just coming back to college after like 20 years. So this is my first semester back.
Okay.
I'm extremely nervous, but I am looking at getting my degree in human resources. So getting a little bit further along in that.
Oh, perfect.
I currently work as a recruiter, and I just would like to get a little bit ahead of the game and find out what else there is out there that kind of goes inside with that.
Well, good to hear, Kimberly. Recruiting, decision making is something that go very close hand in hand. And let me tell you, you have to recruit for people's causes. So I think you're definitely going to do well. What do you want to get out of this course most of all?
I definitely some more, well, as you call it, decisions one-on-one. I want to be a little bit more confident in the decisions I make,
Okay.
the problem solving to get to that point, and just feel better about how I got there and why.
Good to hear. And overall, if the people out in the course, just before we begin on the objective, if two things, if you want to be part of this ongoing video, here's the QR code. You will have to download an app called GroupMe and then just scan it in this QR code. If you want to be a guest lecturer like Kimberly, let me know. Kimberly today has been away from taking the quiz and a discussion for her volunteer. But thank you so much, Kimberly, to be here with us tonight. I really appreciate it, and giving the whole class an experience, especially video. So that's the QR code. And today we're going to talk about objective 3. Please don't, I have this here for my purpose on the video, but grab your textbook that you've hopefully bought by now, and let's open it up to objective 3, whether you're in, watching us recorded or live. And we'll start with that. So objective 3, there's only 3 and 4 we're doing tonight. And we're going to talk a little bit about other decisions, right? So working with problem owners and stakeholders. Do you happen to know what a stakeholder is, Kimberly?
Yes, sir. Stakeholders are the ones that are going to benefit once the problem's resolved. Like they're the ones, and I think they're the ones who bring the issues to the table, okay, trying to get a resolution.
Would you say you're a stakeholder at Lone Star College?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay, let me give you another one. Would you say you're a stakeholder of Reliant or not Reliant, CenterPoint Energy?
Yes.
Good. It really is what it is. It means that you're some way benefited by the existence of that entity or organization, right? So CenterPoint, everybody has it. I don't know if you have Reliant, but CenterPoint, everyone needs CenterPoint to produce electricity so we can have it, so you're a stakeholder, right? So it's another way too to say, you have a stake in the game, right? And in that sense, if you are a problem owner, now problem owner is a little different, right, than being a problem solver. So let's say you hire an attorney, that means you own the problem, right? And you're giving this person the ability to try to solve the problem, right? So that happens, right? So in this book, the book is assuming you're some type of consultant, okay? This is what the book does. And in the beginning, it starts with number 1, solicit input from the problem owner, okay? So one of the mistakes people do is that they try to help someone and they don't ask for permission. You ever seen that before, Kimberly?
Yes.
Right, people give you their input.
I've done it myself too.
Really? Yeah, we're all guilty for it. Let me tell you. It usually begins like at the gym, where you're somewhere at the gym and you're working out, and this person comes in to give you advice about your weight set, and you're like, wow, I never really asked for this. But it's
right.
Right, that it happens. So overall, just solicit the input, not just the fact that, hey, can you help me? Can you help them? But also to solicit their idea. You have to be able to, if you're going to consult them, get all the data points about the situation. Get all of it, grab it. And then, therefore, get that input inside of you so you can start to help them. A lot of people start to assume, and let me tell you, assumptions. We hear it all the time. We hear all the wives' tales on assumption, what it is. But in this course, it has a definition. And we keep going. And number 2, recognize opinions and assumptions. We just spoke about that. Opinions and assumptions that your problem owners, stakeholders, or other important people hold and important factors in the success of your solution. Do you believe an opinion is a bad word, Kimberly?
No, I don't. I think you have to value someone's opinion. It doesn't mean it's always correct, but
right.
We have them and they're worth something.
Right. And unfortunately, in the world, people don't realize that a fact is sometimes a rare thing. And usually a good opinion, because there's good and bad opinions. So opinions are not bad and good, Kimberly. Thank you for saying that. A good opinion is full of facts. That's all it is. Rarely is a fact full of facts. But a good opinion, which is called the word sound, has a lot of little facts, raw facts, because facts are raw. They have no reference whatsoever, right? We have a few people saying, I understand stakeholders. Good to hear, Jenny, about it. Laura says, we are stakeholders in keeping this class going on YouTube. Wink, wink. Yeah, we just spoke about that. Very true. Many decisions be made of a combination of opinion and facts. That's right. That is very, very true. Good point there. A decision is definitely an opinion from anyone, right? And you take it from a whole bunch of facts. So I want you guys to know that assumptions is not bad either, even though all these things have negative and positive connotations. And assumption is not bad. It just has to be sound too, right? So we keep going. Communicate your progress clearly. So sometimes when you're trying to talk about progress to someone, you want to communicate it. So your goal, I'm sorry, Kimberly, is to become an HR administrator, right?
Yes, sir.
So what would you say is a good sign of progress towards your goal?
What's a good sign of progress? Towards my goal, like here at Lone Star, would just be the completing the courses and making good grades in them, reaching out to, I wouldn't say just professors, but anybody that could help lead me along the right path.
That's right.
Not necessarily just classes, but, just acquaintances and getting the word out there, what I'm looking for.
And you see how your progress communicating that to me was clear. Okay, getting good grades, getting closer towards graduation, and getting hired, right? So that was very clearly how you went. Thank you so much. Number 4, do your homework carefully. Establish the credibility of your work by pursuing each step systematically. That word is very hot in this course. Systematically. Do you know what the root word of systematically is?
System.
System. Exactly. That was easy. Good job. A+. So system. Do you have a system to what you're doing? It looks like you have a system, Kimberly. You're trying to take your classes. You get a good grade, right? There's more grades, the better. That's your system. And then you graduate. You become more hireable, and then you get hired. System, right?
There's always room, though, for improvement in that system.
Very true. Absolutely. Even that's a system. What you just said. It's a system.
True.
So if your train of thought or your decisions are systematic, you're doing well. You know when a decision is not systematic. You just know. If it's off the cuff. And again, there's nothing wrong with intuition. I don't want to say that because you're going to be out there one day and you're like, oh, I have a bad feeling about this. Maybe listen to it.
Right.
All I'm saying is that in a business decision, if you have time, because short time, intuition is probably best. Long time, a good decision, like a career, will probably need systems, right? Need some kind of a system. So with that said, provide choices. Number 5, selecting one choice from many increases the sense of ownership. I have a website. It's called flatfeebyou.com. In that website, believe it or not, I swear, Kimberly, I finally put 3 options for my customers to choose, and my business grew exponentially from it because people wanted to feel like they had choices. And since it's done super well. So when I had one choice in my website, one product, it didn't do as well. It's like people saw it and it was a choice. When I gave them 3 choices, they felt like they had more control. They want to own it. When you give people choices, they want to own it. So
right.
With that said, I realized you have a mother shirt. You're a mom?
Oh, yeah, I am.
Your
To a
mom.
senior in high school.
Oh, look at that. Hey, if you give your daughter, is a daughter or a son?
It's a daughter.
Daughter. If you give your daughter choices, she may feel a little more empowered. Who knows? Especially.
Well, if you only give her one option, you're deciding for her, and they're smart enough to realize that.
Right. So you give them a sense of ownership. This is everybody. This is not just kids.
Right.
This is 0 to whenever, right? People want to feel like it was theirs, their decision. So that's also the same in management. You give people you work with choices, they start to feel empowered. Therefore, they begin to see that they're in control. They don't want someone else to be in control. That's just really the way it works, right? And then promote your solution. Let's say you have a solution. Let's say it's a great solution. You have to promote it. You can't just have it. Systematically thought about it. You got to be able to push it and actually campaign for it, right? So I have Laura, Benny, without fail at taking online courses big time. That's absolutely right. Believe it or not, online courses really show you how to pretty much run a business yourself. It's all very self-driven. And people who fail at online courses have a lot to do with they couldn't manage their time much, even though it was their choice. So some things, Kimberly, choice-wise is overwhelming. Some people may not be able to have it. Let's see here. Amanda says, very good. You learn about being a steward leader, not just a manager. Helping others by leading. Putting people in positions they're made for better. I suggest you read the book. It has helped me a lot in the management process. Good. Good to hear, Amanda. That was a very good input. I don't see much of the course putting things in, so I would definitely do that now so that you get graded. As the class out there in D2L doing the writing assignment, let me tell you, right now the interactive people are writing as we speak. They're probably writing as many words as you are anyways. So this is when we challenge them, right? Let's go towards objective 4. Next week, we'll be doing 5, 6, 7, and 8. If you guys want to read ahead. And here we go. Objective 4. Describe the ideal situation. What do you think of when you hear the word ideal?
Difficult time hearing you.
Oh, when you hear the word ideal, what does it come up to you? What do you think of?
Ideal. Well, we can't use the word ideal. Comfortable or familiar with, or
okay.
Appropriate, I guess maybe is more like it.
Believe it or not, there's 2 things. This is a dichotomy. I'm gonna show you what I call a little secret to knowledge, okay, to education. If you really want to know the truth, academia, which is what you're learning in college, is full of dichotomies. Okay, dichotomies. Do you know? Have you heard of that word?
I've heard it, but I don't know what it means. I'm writing this down though.
It just means 2. It just means 2.
Okay.
So things come in 2s and things come in 3s in an academic world. I don't know why. It's just the way people think. Okay. A dichotomy is real simple. Either you're a Republican or you're a Democrat. That's a dichotomy. You see what I mean? There's
okay.
2 schools of thought.
Yes,
right? Sometimes you think like a mother, sometimes you think like a father. That's a dichotomy. You see what I mean? It's thoughts of how you're thinking.
It's an either or.
Either or, but it's dual. It comes in 2s sometimes.
Okay.
And that's why I say sometimes comes in 3s. It's not a dichotomy, but it's called a trichotomy, which is 3. But in the dichotomy here, this thought is idealism. The word ideal, which means close to perfect. Okay? Perfect, just about perfect. So what it's saying is decide the perfect situation. Okay? Guess what the word for ideal is? The other dichotomy, the other school of thought. Take a stab.
The other word for perfect?
Yeah.
Am I talking about the opposite or the same as?
Pretty much
dichotomy
opposite.
too.
No, it's not really an opposite, but it's another. And you've heard of this before. I'll throw it out there. It's practical.
Okay.
Practical.
Practical.
What
okay.
Is ideal with everything, okay?
I can't hear you. Hold on.
It's okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think the class is having a hard time too. They're saying the screen's timing out.
Right, and it's okay, class, if you don't hear some of the words, it's absolutely fine. The only thing is this, it's, remember, the recording's gonna be there, worst case scenario. But dichotomy is a dual thing, right? So when you see ideal, the other one is practical. And practical only means that what's probably gonna come to you, what's probable, what will happen, like practice. College is ran by the ideal, okay? By the ideal. And that what that means is if you will study, you'll hear the word textbook smart because you're learning ideal processes. But practice is different. Practice is like it doesn't come ideally. Things are not perfect in the world. But with perfect, you learn theories. Do you get what I mean? So it's dual. Remember that. Describe the ideal situation just means what do you want? What do you want? You want a perfect job with a perfect benefits, with perfect situation for time for your kids. But that may not be the, as close as you can get to that, the better. You get what I mean? The closest you can get. So describe to yourself what is the perfect situation and then strive for it. Strive for it. That's where practical comes in. So 2, briefly summarize the problem. Okay, so developing an effective problem statement means about summarize the problem. What is going on? What is wrong? Some people don't even analyze that. If you're looking at a situation, you should know its parts. Let's see what some of the course says. Kiana says, yes, I'm a hairstylist and I have a hard time making decisions last semester without missing a lot of the lectures. Had a decision to stop overworking myself. Okay, Kiana, that was a decision. Absolutely. You came up with solutions on how to fix that situation, and this is the one you took. Okay, that sounds fair. Okay, and Amanda says a division or contrast between two things that are represented being opposed entirely different. All right, Amanda, thank you so much for defining dichotomy. That's definitely good. I'm glad you brought that out. Kiana, groom and go to classes too. Okay, I guess we have some hairstylists out there. It's perfect. Number 3. Identify symptoms of the problem. So Kimberly, when you, let's say you go to the doctor, right? Does the doctor not talk to you about symptoms over causes?
Symptoms are causes, yes, sir.
You notice what I just did? I just gave you dichotomy.
Because you gave me 2 options.
Exactly. This is how academic world is. Let me tell you. You will learn dichotomy. You will learn how everything is math, how physics, how business. If you learn one definition and look up if it's dichotomy, you'll know the other one too. So in this case, the symptom and the cause, right? So real simple. The cause is the main thing that's actually happening. The symptom is just the effect from it. So identify the symptom of the problem, not the cause. So that way you don't confuse them. Because sometimes people...
Well, when you have a problem, you might not know what the cause is. You just might know what the symptoms are at that time.
Absolutely. And some of it is, as simple as, well, when you're figuring out a car issue, it's definitely symptoms versus causes. Because it could be that you have a air conditioning not working. But it could just be a fuse, and that could just be the symptom. So you're trying to fix. You fix the AC and you pay $5,000 instead of checking to make sure it was just a fuse for $5. See, it doesn't really matter. One could be just the symptom, and that symptom was much more expensive. Now you fix something without still fixing the other. See how decisions. Right. All right, guys, so I'm going to start finishing this objective. I would definitely encourage you guys to start putting your last thoughts. Sarah says, if I were a cashier who was overworked, problem, the symptoms, will be backed up line, irritable customers, lost revenue. If you were an overworked, I guess, cashier is your problem, and the symptoms would be that, yes, the irritable customers and lost revenue. Funny you say that, Sarah. Some people would say that maybe it's not that you're overworked. Maybe it's the way your manager is coming about too. because overall, you being overworked could also be a symptom. Why are you being overworked? So I think it's actually very, very hard to get to a cause, believe it or not. You have to keep asking these questions so you can make sure it's not a symptom. I mean, it's not a cause. Sorry, that's a symptom, not a cause. Remember, you could have that situation where identify the symptom always. And more than likely, 80% of the time, it's going to be a symptom, even though you think so. All right. Let's see. 4 is describe the size and scope of the problem. A scope just means what the stakeholders or other interested people will try to assess and how significant the problem is. So describe it. How big is your problem? How little is your problem? Is it worth it to deal with the problem right now? You're always making decisions. Even when, you being someone in HR in the future, you're going to have to figure out what is a course of action, especially in HR. You know what's the number one thing HR people do more than anything?
Listen to people complain.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Who do you represent mostly when you're in HR?
The employees.
Are you sure about that?
I'm going to assume I'm incorrect.
Well, more than likely, the ideal, this is just funny. The ideal is that the HR looks after the human resources, right? The practical is probably that the HR doesn't necessarily, they look out after how not to get sued. That's what they'll tell you. People in HR will tell you how to protect the company from getting sued, especially from the employees. So you'll see those. That's something to look into. You still there, Kimberly? I think we lost Kimberly last minute, so I'm gonna have to just cancel her for now. But it's okay, Kimberly. You did a good job here at the end. I'm glad that we only have 2 more. Anyways, if you're out there, just go ahead and follow along with the chat. 5, identify the consequences. If you make sure you understand the consequences, you can actually learn to make a better decision. And of course, you want to make sure you understand what consequence that problem you're trying to fix. So if you take a course of action, a decision, know the consequences. That's another negatively strive word. Believe it or not, consequences could also be good. And explain any other research or investigation that you may pursue. Okay, look into it. What are you trying to pursue? Explain that investigation and be detailed. Kimberly, it's okay. No worries. We actually had a little bit of a last minute, the last second technical problem, but everything worked out for the video. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you guys have made a good decision of stipulating good discussion groups, because that's how I'm going to have to grade. I have a hard decision to hire more people or keep going myself, Jenny. Okay, I see that. And everybody else. Any last minute, last thoughts, put it in here. Tomorrow around noon, you should see the module. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining tonight. Let me know if you have any further questions, and we'll go from there. Have a good night.